Family dinners at the Harrison household were always a balancing act, between composure and quiet mortification. I smoothed the hem of my black dress, understated but elegant, nothing like Amanda's designer ensemble, which probably cost more than my old car, the one I sold after buying a new one in cash. "Olivia, darling, you made it," Mom trilled across the dining room, her voice crisp and practiced, as polished as the crystals she was holding. "We were just celebrating Amanda's promotion, Junior VP of Marketing at 32, isn't that fabulous?" I offered a polite smile and slipped into my usual seat, at the far end of the table, same as always, far enough to be excluded from the spotlight, close enough to catch every backhanded compliment thrown my way. "And what about you, Olivia?" Aunt Patricia chimed in, her tone steeped in syrupy concern. "Still at that little office job?" I opened my mouth, but Amanda cut in with her signature timing, swirling a glass of Pinot like a prop in a commercial. "Oh, Liv's still doing that assistant thing downtown, right? What is it again, filing papers?" I took a slow sip of water, thinking of the signed merger contracts waiting on my desk at Monarch Enterprises Executive Suite, the very company set to acquire Amanda's top competitor. The press release would drop tomorrow morning. "Something like that," I replied softly. Dad sighed, his expression a mix of pity and impatience. "You know, I still have contacts at Goldman Sachs. It's not too late to pivot, Olivia, at 35, with my connections. I'm happy where I am, Dad." Amanda let out a laugh that rang off the chandelier. "Happy fetching coffee, really, Liv, don't you want more for yourself?" Mom jumped in, ever the mediator. "Well, not everyone has Amanda's drive, Olivia's just different." Different. That word had followed me for years. Different for turning down private school. Different for majoring in business admin instead of finance. Different for walking away from Dad's offers and building my own path, without shortcuts. "Oh, did you hear?" Amanda leaned forward, radiant with self-satisfaction. "William's firm is expanding. They're acquiring 3 smaller companies. He's on track to make partner by next year." Of course, William, the golden husband, with the golden job, at the golden law firm, the same firm that had been quietly lobbying for Monarch's business for over a year now. "That's great," I murmured, glancing at my phone. The final call with the Tokyo team should be wrapping up soon. Mom frowned. "Put that away, Olivia. I'm sure whatever work crisis you have can wait. It's not like you're handling anything urgent." If only they knew that this morning, I'd helped finalize a deal that could shake the entire tech sector, but I'd long since stopped explaining. They'd written their version of my life years ago, and nothing I said would revise it. Speaking of important things, Amanda set her glass down with theatrical flair. "William and I are looking at houses in the Heights, you know, that exclusive development where all the CEOs live, nothing under $3 million. Aunt Patricia beamed. "Oh, how perfect for you." I suppressed a smile, picturing the penthouse I owned outright, 12 floors above Amanda's future neighbors, with an unobstructed view of Central Park. "We might even be neighbors, Liv," Amanda added, eyes gleaming. "Doesn't your boss live up there? Maybe you can wave to him when you're dropping off his dry cleaning." The table chuckled. I just took another sip of water. Let them laugh. Tomorrow, the headlines would speak louder than I ever could. I forced a smile, recalling the board meeting where I'd approved $1 million bonuses for my executive team. My boss had thanked me personally. After all, I'd signed his bonus too. "Actually," I began, but Dad's voice boomed over me. "Let's talk real estate, Amanda. You should seriously consider investing in that Heights development." I tuned out as he launched into one of his investment sermons, the same ones I'd heard since I was a teenager. My phone buzzed silently in my lap. A message from my CFO, merger numbers finalized. Everything was in place. Tomorrow, the business world would be buzzing about the biggest tech acquisition of the year, and Monarch Enterprises would no longer be able to keep its elusive CEO in the shadows. "Olivia, are you even paying attention?" Mom snapped. "Amanda was just telling us about her company's diversity initiative. She's leading it, really changing lives." "That's nice," I said softly, knowing full well that by tomorrow, that initiative, and the company behind it, would belong to Monarch. Amanda swirled her wine, smirking. "See, this is why you're still stuck in entry level. No drive, no ambition, no idea how the real business world works. You have to be bold, strategic." "Like you?" I asked, unable to keep the edge out of my voice. Exactly, she grinned, oblivious. Junior VP at 32, married to a future partner, and about to land the biggest deal of my career. I tilted my head. The Morton Tech acquisition? Her smile froze. How do you know about that? It hasn't been made public. Oh, you know, I said, lifting my water glass. Office gossip. If only she knew I'd personally declined her company's bid last week, tomorrow's headline would hit harder than any snide comment she'd ever thrown my way. Well, she said quickly, you'll see what success looks like soon enough. Some of us were born for pressure, for power. Another buzz, a second message, merger docs were prepped, just waiting on my signature. I stood up, brushing imaginary lint from my dress. If you'll excuse me, I have to take this. Really, Olivia? Mom sighed. What could possibly be that important? I answered on speaker. Kate's voice rang out, clear and professional. Madam CEO, I apologize for interrupting your evening, but the $50 million acquisition paperwork is ready. The board is standing by for your final approval. The silence was immediate. Amanda's wine glass slipped from her fingers, shattering against the hardwood floor. Crimson spread across Mom's Persian rug like spilled blood. I'll be there in 20, I said calmly, have legal standing by. Every face at the table was frozen. Madam CEO, Amanda whispered, her mask cracking. Of Monarch Enterprises, I confirmed, picking up my clutch. You know, that little company acquiring yours tomorrow? Mom gasped. Monarch? But that's the fastest growing tech firm in the country. I finished for her. Yes, the one behind the acquisitions your firms have been chasing. The one with the reclusive CEO. I pulled a card from my bag and slid it across the table. The gold-embossed letters gleamed. Olivia Harrison, Chief Executive Officer, Monarch Enterprises. Not so reclusive anymore, I said, just selective. Dad picked up the card, fingers trembling. You always said you worked downtown. I do, in the penthouse of Monarch Tower. You can see it from Amanda's office. I looked at her, or should I say, my office, now. Her face drained of color. The Morton Tech acquisition, I added, a distraction. While your company focused on that, we moved in for a full takeover. At 9 a.m., the news goes public. Why didn't you tell us? Mom asked quietly. I looked around the table at the family who had spent years doubting me, diminishing me. Would you have listened? You were all so sure I was a failure. Easier to let you believe it. Amanda stared at me, stunned. Those business lunches, all this time. I smiled. Finally, sometimes, the best power play is letting people underestimate you. When I saw you at those restaurant lobbies, Amanda said slowly, you weren't there as someone's assistant, were you? No, I replied, my smile growing. I was usually there buying companies, including, last month, that exclusive development in the Heights you were so excited about. I paused for effect. I own it now. Aunt Patricia, who had been silent since the phone call, suddenly found her voice. The mysterious buyer who's been acquiring all those prime properties, it's Monarch Enterprises? I nodded. We've been diversifying into real estate. My phone buzzed again. Another message from Kate. Board members are all present, ready when you are. I should go, I said, gathering my things. $50 million mergers don't sign themselves. Wait, Dad called as I reached the door. All this time, while we were pushing you to find a real career, I was building an empire. I finished, my voice steady, one that's worth more than all of Dad's connections combined. Olivia, Amanda stood, her perfect designer dress still stained with wine. The takeover, you can't, my position. Don't worry, I said, enjoying the irony. We're keeping most of the staff. You can even keep your title, though you'll report to my EVP of marketing now. She started as a file clerk, actually. The silence that followed me out was deafening. As I reached the car, my driver holding the door open, I heard footsteps behind me. It was Mom. Those charity galas, she said breathlessly, the ones where Monarch Enterprises donated millions. That was you? Someone had to make the executive decisions, I replied, my tone cool, though I noticed none of you ever recognized me in the photos. I guess you weren't looking for the family failure in the society pages. Mom's face crumpled. We were so wrong about you. Yes, I agreed, sliding into the car. You were. The next morning, from my penthouse office, I watched as the news of Monarch's latest acquisition broke. Business channels were buzzing with speculation about the mysterious CEO, finally revealed. My phone flooded with messages from family, congratulations, apologies, and, of course, job inquiries. Amanda's message was the shortest. You planned this all along, didn't you? I smiled, recalling all the family dinners where I had quietly absorbed their condescension, all the while building something they couldn't even imagine. No, I replied. I just worked for it. Kate appeared in my doorway. The board is ready for you, Madam CEO. I stood, adjusting my Chanel suit, no more off-the-rack clothes. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, I could see Amanda's old office building, now sporting the Monarch Enterprises logo. Kate, I said, turning, send a gift basket to my family, include a bottle of red wine for Amanda, something expensive, and a cleaning service recommendation for Mom's Persian rug. Already done, Kate smiled. I also took the liberty of sending them all copies of today's Wall Street Journal. Your cover story is quite impressive. I picked up the paper from my desk, eyes gliding over the headline. Monarch Enterprises CEO revealed, the secret billionaire next door. The photo beneath it was from last month's charity gala, the same one my family had dismissed as just another office party when I mentioned it. Sometimes, I told Kate as we walked toward the boardroom, the best revenge isn't proving people wrong, it's letting them realize they've been wrong all along. The boardroom doors swung open. The top executives of both Monarch and our newly acquired company were already seated. Amanda was among them, attempting to keep her composure but clearly uncomfortable in her now outdated office attire. Good morning, I said, taking my seat at the head of the table. Let's discuss the future of our combined companies. I've been thinking about the new diversity initiative. Amanda's face went ashen as I began the presentation. Success, I've learned, isn't always about who talks the loudest or brags the most. Sometimes it's about quietly building something extraordinary while others doubt you. And sometimes, just sometimes, it's about watching their faces when they realize just how wrong they've been all along.